Thank you.
And I think we're good to go.
Okay. So, who is on recap for today? It should be a fairly easy one. Okay, I'll do it. So, saves us time anyway. Last session, you guys took on the strength trial, which was you fighting against an air elemental. Now, once you got through to the end and saw that some of you were popping back to the start, you realised you had to not fight this thing to get across and exit through and succeed in this trial, which you did by the skin of your teeth. And making it through to the other end, you were faced with a sight which not many of you had ever seen before, and only one of you had ever actually heard of before, in ghost stories, etc. Now, I'm just going to put the spelling of this place in the chat because it's not intuitive.
Is it J-J-E-E-N?
Yeah.
Yes.
The double J being a Y sound. This is Yeen before your very eyes. So.
Spooky.
Spooky. Before we start, does anyone have any questions? Anything they want to achieve? Etc. etc.
Yes. Are we? According to my, taken some good hit point damage. We have said that we're going to have a short, like long rest, wouldn't we?
Yes, you guys have set up a.
Yeah. We're currently in Cass's tiny hut. You said we're having a long rest, so can I safely assume?
Yeah.
I can put
you
my
guys
hit
are.
points.
Yeah. So the last thing that you guys did was you set up a tiny hut, intending to take a long rest. And Ulster and Loran, you crawled up to the top of the cave, and you looked out onto sort of like the slightly dimming skies around you, and you saw two other fires lit on either side of you, one to the left, one to the right. These fires which suggest Alabek's team and Nash's team have both made it. And before we continue, Thomas, if your Wi-Fi is cutting out, you're not going to be able to record it, are you? Okay. Well, I just worry that if your computer dies, we're going to lose the recording.
Oh, my computer won't die. It's not a computer issue. Or like my computer will stay on. It might just like drop me out of the call and then pop me back in. But I think that should be fixed. Just a heads up in case that does happen.
Okay, if that happens, can you message us as soon as possible so that we can pause the game so we don't lose any?
Yeah, I can message on my phone.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, you see these two fires burning on either side of you, suggesting the other teams have also made it this far. In what state, you do not know, but regardless, you guys are settling in for a long rest. Yes. So, are you going to do watches?
Yes. Probably. Yeah. So you're like, yes, absolutely.
Yes, please, definitely. If we don't, tell screen. So, who would like to do the first one? Blue,
I'm still on 20.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious, though, before we do this, how many hit points are you guys all at?
I'm going to up mine now because we're doing a long rest.
What did you get down to?
54.
Nice. Neff wasn't here.
From 45.
45.
So many people almost died.
I have a question.
Neff was the first one to run through the portal.
Is Neff here to be able to do a night watch as well?
Yes, Neff is here with everyone.
Alright,
so
she volunteered to go
by the way,
first.
because you missed it. Last session there was a big arena with a huge elemental in it, and you had to get past it without attacking it in order to succeed in the
We all almost died.
And you all almost died. Bluey especially got down to 20 HP.
Okay.
So I turned you all into elephants.
I'm glad that we're all alive.
Neff says in game,
That would be
and
a bit
Sarah's
sad.
grows in like 8 HP.
I'm glad we're
That
all
would have been a
alive.
bit sad for you, Thomas. Literally, like coming back in, being like, "So, what happened? We died. We
Oh,
died."
the entire party's dead. I'm glad it's
The
not.
funniest thing was that both the healers went through first, so it was Neff and Slia, so there was nobody left in the actual trial.
That's me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We were told to go through.
That's fair. I thought it was. It was good choice. Good choice. Got to get everyone through as quick as they can because every round counts. Every round counts in the battle later. So, who's taking the first watch?
Neff will raise her
You
hand.
can do Neff and Slia.
Cass will go.
Cass. Okay. So, how's Cass doing now that she's had a moment to pause after that really long, intensive fight?
I think I kind of enjoyed being in the fight and also like having something to focus on, and also not having a single attack against it. I think thinking stuff to like. I think Cass is definitely turning a bit more positive.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say that now that the fight's finished, to sort of a little bit sort of emotionally detached or emotionally empty is the better.
3 tears.
Mm.
So Cass and Neff, you guys settle down at the mouth of this cave. You look down and you can see everybody bundled up together around Shu. Shu, who is curled up,
She's fine.
feathers ruffled, but otherwise okay. And here she seems to be sleeping more peacefully than anywhere you've seen. You know from what also told you that creatures like Shu are native to this specific part of the Maasai. You don't know how deep in they go, but they definitely survive and live in this polar kind of ring where it's almost uninhabitable for humans. Looking up out of the exit, you see those 2 fires as well. And you also make me a perception check. I want to see if you notice something else. Both of you can do it.
Oh, it's a net 20.
Like a dog entering. A dog appears.
Oh, a dog!
Doggo.
And
dog.
Dog.
That's ultra
14.
super blessed.
14. Cool. Cass, you're keeping out a general eye, but Neff, you notice that the 2 fires, which is Nasha and Abek's team, they also, similarly to you, are descended slightly from the actual ground level to suggest that they are somewhat underground in cover.
Okay.
Looking at how barren this wasteland is, you get the impression that if you were to go topside by yourself without preparation, you would just die from exposure in moments.
Oh.
The only thing keeping you guys alive is your own magic and heat from each other and this cover.
Okay. I relay everything that I get from that to Cass as well, who's here.
Cass, it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Can Neff does Neff notice anything about you in terms of your emotional state?
It's very obvious. You don't even have to do an insight check. Cass is sort of a shell herself.
Neff will just sit close, supportively.
Cass will lean.
If there's nothing else you guys would like to do, you'll watch pass.
I think Cass didn't instigate anything, so I don't know if Thomas or Neff would, but Cass is very much like.
in the game, suddenly in the portal appears and Thomas, maid costume, holding his giant cone plushie, appears in the snow. You immediately die of exposure.
How did I get here? Oh my god, I'm dead.
Us with our like 8 HP.
Yeah, we're like I'm so low HP.
Oopsie.
Oops. So, you guys take your watch. A few hours later, who do you wake up next to take over?
Probably Leah.
It's Celia and
Cass would
No.
wake Leah. So I don't know who.
Neff, who would you wake up?
Did anybody volunteer to have a night watch alongside Slia?
Would anybody have retrospectively? Or?
But otherwise, if not, she would probably wake Sarazer.
Okay.
He's a responsible individual.
No. Sarazer awakens as if he was hardly ever asleep at all.
The clapping starts immediately.
No! Is that applause? No. So,
Good job, Sarazer.
Sarazer sits up and walks over and settles by the mouth of this cave as well, and kind of holds his sword ahead of him, sort of digs his shield into the ground, and creates a little sort of snow, like wind buffet, to keep his side warm. And Slia, he makes space for you to huddle if you want to.
Leah huddles. She's cold.
Pulls out your blanket that you made for him and wraps it around the both of you. Sarazer seems very quiet. A little bit pained somewhat from the previous trial, but
Okay.
if you have anything you want to say to him, it seems like he will respond.
You hanging in there?
And Sarazer just nods. I'm as well as I can be. I think the end is in sight, which is a good thing for Ulster. He deserved this.
Yes. Very much so. They're going to be good kings.
You will see them become good kings. How are you hanging in?
I'm all right.
Are
All
you?
things considered. Yeah.
I think Sarazer will just turn to look at you and he'll just say, I don't know about you.
His passive
But
insight would probably give away that she is being completely genuine.
Yeah. He just turns to you and he says, I don't know about you, but I'm no stranger to self-sacrifice or the feeling that if only I could do this one thing, then everything will be okay. I just want you to know that if there is another way, I want you to take it.
Oh, if there is another way, I will. But I'm not going to make somebody else do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. And if this is it, if I'm the last one who ever has to sacrifice themselves for that barrier, let it be me. They're
If it
gonna
has
be
to
okay.
be you, you'll have to go through me first. So, yeah.
No.
I'm very strong, I can take you.
I'm aware.
Sarah gives a cute laugh.
He puts
I
an
can
arm
use
around
my
you.
magic on you. Okay. You've got.
I think you have in fact tried in the past, back when I was slightly less amicable, not as much a likable person.
We didn't know you very well back then. I'm glad we do
How
now.
are you? I think we know
Yeah.
each other very well. That's why I can predict somewhat what you're thinking. Try and find another way. Because I'm going to fight tooth and nail.
Trying, but I need you to be there if I can't be. I can do this if you're there for them, okay?
I'm not leaving them behind.
Good. But you might have to leave me behind. And that's okay.
Leah, make a persuasion check, please.
Against a 27 DC.
Because she's speaking out of, like, essentially her goddess's words,
Yeah.
could I have a guide? Could I advocate for a
Yeah,
guidance
okay.
on this?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. Dirty 20. It's the
30-20.
why am I having trouble adding 3 and 3?
Sarah's has a slightly pained expression on his face, but it's accepting. And he gives you a silent nod. I'll protect this party as much as I can, for as long as I am able. You are included in that. I won't get in the way of your wish, but
I know that they're gonna be okay, but you're also Kestel's godparent.
it's a good name.
Means hope. And, like, she kind of pulls out the snowdrop that, like, Algstair gave her.
Very good name, yes. I have hope. For all of us. Would you roll me a perception check, please?
Okay. No.
Nah.
No.
All of my luck went into that persuasion roll. That was a natural one.
Nah. You try to keep your eyes on the surroundings, but they often drift to the stars, and you cannot really focus on anything.
Sleer's blind.
Sleer is blind. Uh-oh.
Yep.
The only thing that really catches your attention at all is Yin, because it's such a huge structure, but even that doesn't give anything away.
Yeah,
Sarah, on the other
she's
hand,
too emotionally
seems a bit more
distracted.
intrigued. Yeah. Sarah's, on the other hand, seems a bit more attuned to his surroundings. And he notices when, on the left-hand side, one of the fires begins to flicker and then dims and then goes out completely. And Sarah, who points this out to you?
Okay. Is that a bad sign? Where are they moving?
Sarah says they're not moving and they're dying.
Okay. I feel like we should wake Ulster. He has the most chance of being able to save them quickly.
Sarah nods and immediately kind of like drops down. Ulster, you are shaken awake by the concerned faces of Slir and Sarah.
Also, like 5 more minutes.
And Sarah says, I know you're not fully rested, but there's something happening.
What do you mean? Also immediately sits up. Yes, and I will roll his madness table.
Yeah. You guys have not gotten the benefits of a long rest yet, so make sure you haven't reset that.
I can put it back to what it was. He would have gotten his hit points back in a short rest, so the only thing he's missing is 8th level. Again. Also wakes up and he immediately goes for Shu if you say something.
One of the fires went out.
Okay, then we need to go investigate. Slia, you're a healer. Would you come with me?
Of course.
Okay. Also, we'll get on top of Shu, pull a coat, like a big cloak over the both of you.
Are you waking anyone else?
He'll nod at Sarada to gently wake everyone else.
Okay.
And he'll head out.
You guys make the rounds, and when Loran sees you bouncing off without him, he just teleports onto Shu. Shu
She was like,
buckles under the weight.
Loran.
Excuse me, you didn't even wake me up.
Yeah, because I thought you might want to rest because you...
Silly man. Silly husband. No.
Ulstead taps Loran's forehead and turns him into a small animal.
Peacock?
I'm going to go with a small Arctic fox so he can withstand the cold.
Okay.
So Shu can take the weight and he'll bundle Loran up.
Okay, so how are you protecting Slia?
Under the cloak.
Under the cloak? What is it a cloak for?
Just a fur
cloak?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And they're cuddled against Shu, so I'm going to go for the body heat as well.
Okay. Slia, I need you to make me a constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Good.
That is an 18.
18. The cold is biting through the cloak and hitting your ankles. Anywhere there's exposed skin, or like even the thought of exposed skin, is being just kind of like stabbed by these like tiny like kind of like ice particles that just seem to be heavy in the air like condensation.
Her horn and tail are like not happy.
No, I'd say your horns are beginning to frostbite.
If I notice this happening, Loran would also be suffering this, wouldn't he? Yeah. I'm going to use a 3rd level slot to cast Bear's Endurance on both of them.
Okay.
They're going to have advantage on Constitution and gains 2d6 temporary hit points.
Okay. So, see if you write that. Okay. Everybody else, you're shaken awake. And you see Ulster, Loran, and Slia bounding off into the distance on Shu. What do you do?
Scream. Cry.
I mean, because say Bluey can't fly, she's not going to try and just run after Shu. I think she'll like go to the mouth of wherever they are and kind of watch what they're doing. Would she have had a short rest? Is that a...
Yes, at this point. You guys haven't had your long rest yet.
All right.
Just as a rule, make sure if you do your long rest, make sure you only reset when you wake up.
Could Bluey like insight, like Brian or Saraza or Slia or
They woke you up quite quickly, so I'd say you can do it straight up, yeah.
just so I roll? Yes, okay. Oh, right. 19.
19. Okay, so with a 19, with a 19, you can tell that they are moving quite urgently, and you can also see that sort of in the direction they're going. Again, one of the fires has gone out. You assume that something is happening.
Like from that, would I know to rush in with them?
I think Saraza would probably be able to.
Saraza would hold you back.
Oh, okay.
They would say, unless you have a way to get across quickly without suffering from the cold.
No. Okay, yeah. Slia.
Sleaze, did you have something to say?
Can I activate the warmness cube on Shu's back?
Yeah, how far does that spread?
I have it right here. There we go. Let's see, inventory.
The rhino also gets all these benefits.
I don't actually have a
It's done.
yeah, just it generates enough dry heat to keep the temperature within. Oh, sorry. If only I could read. Within 15 feet at 95 degrees Fahrenheit.
Sure.
Gosh, that's nice.
That is fine. At which point Loran would have scrambled up onto your shoulder, Ulster, and is biting at the carpet.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, biting at the carpet.
19.
19. He's clearly trying to either get it off or get onto it.
But Shu goes as fast as the carpet.
He's pulling on it.
Also gets the carpet out and taps it and puts him on it.
Okay. You see him kind of like nudge the carpet with his fox nose, and it starts zooming back towards the mouth of the cave. Bluey, you see the magic carpet is flying towards you at great speed, as if to ferry you, Saraza, Cass, and Neff, and Lucas back over to the other side.
I'm guessing we could all fit on the carpet.
Good choice. Sorry?
And Tozzy Towel.
Oh, of course. And Tozzy and Courage. But yeah, you get the impression it'll be much.
Okay.
Um,
We're bringing the whole squad in.
Right. Yeah. Blue will throw on her like warm thing, and she's happy to steer the carpet if, yeah,
okay.
Motion for others.
Yeah. How are you guys protecting yourselves as you move out of this cave, if you're going at all?
An intimidating aura.
I think
Neff activates intimidating aura of intense heat.
And then dies of hypothermia.
Bluey could put the snuggie that she has from Slayer on, and then use like her warm overcoat for like over her and then someone else.
Neff could probably fit in the snuggie.
I think it's a cuddle puddle.
It's a cuddle puddle. Okay. Saraza does what he was doing before and manages to like kind of put his shield up, prevent you guys from getting any as much of that front wind. Their cloaks are flying. The only person who is only semi-covered is Lucas, You get the impression that
He's used to it.
like Stem, he has a certain natural kind of resistance to this kind of cold, though not for long. So, also behind you, you see the rest of the team is careering forwards. I need all of you to make me Constitution saving throws, please.
Me and Thea as well.
No, just let the team.
16.
16,
14.
14,
22.
22. Okay. Neff, you immediately lose feeling in your toes and fingers and all your extremities.
Makes me think, of course.
My intimidation isn't working.
As your aura of intimidation does not seem to be quite enough to prevent the cold from getting through you.
You tried.
At the moment, you're only going to take 2 points of cold damage. But you're starting to lose feeling and movement in those extremities, unless you are able to roll better next time. Louis, you're just about okay, but you are feeling something cold in your tail.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Cass, what did you get?
22.
22. You are also okay. So, shooting. Satisfied with his carpet wrangling, Loran as a fox.
Also swaddles him back inside the coat. Shush. Keeps going.
He starts chirruping. And you guys approach this other...
Also looks apologetically at Slayer. He had to come, you understand.
Slayer just holds up the cube, to keep them all warm. Also, the wiggling was just, I love fox noises. They're just so cute. They make great chirps. Their mating noises leave something to be desired.
Miranda starts hate us. You know how foxes scream like regular people? I didn't realise that for a long time, so whenever I heard foxes screaming outside, I used to write it down in case somebody was being murdered.
That's a very responsible thing to do.
I was like, it's 11:43, I heard screaming. This is going to be important in a murder investigation one day. So, you guys draw closer. You find yourselves approaching a underground kind of like recess in the ice, very similar to the one you guys were in. Only it's dark in here. And as you approach, Shu begins to sort of like hesitate and kind of like sort of slow down beneath you. And also you feel that connection between the two of you begin to waver. A little bit of uncertainty kind of coming through Shu here.
I think also will lean in, just press his forehead against the back of her head and just say, what is it?
You can choose survival or animal handling.
Animal handling. Natural 20 plus, I think, 10 or 11, so 30 or over.
You feel Shu say, I am not alone.
Also immediately pulls Shu up and stops. We need to be prepared for more creatures of you.
Celia, do you have any response to that?
She just kind of like nods and, okay.
We'll turn around back as we stop.
Loran very quietly sort of just like says, we're about to fall.
Yeah, we're going to get off. He steps off.
Okay, good.
Didn't realise he was so heavy, Loran. He slaps his leg.
Very smart of you to turn a fire user into a fox who can't cast anything.
We had a cube and it was fine and you were heavy.
He looks back at the other team who have covered in icicles. Oh, yes.
It was your fault for teleporting here. He starts squabbling.
bold of you to leave them behind.
Leah
Cool
just
says off shoot.
ignores all of this and is going for the cave.
I'm just like,
Okay, so as you guys
Taking the
I'm
warmth
fighting.
with her.
these people have 2 children.
you guys are just sort of like embarking off Shu, and in the time it takes to do that, the other team just about arrives. So everybody, it is an immediate relief when you step into the 15 foot of warmth that Sleer provides. There is just something so refreshing about being not freezing to death. So as you guys disembark from the carpet, it ravels itself up. You also noticed that Shu is acting out of sorts. And I need everybody to make me perception checks, please.
17.
Okay.
Lauren hit my
Also
eye when we were doing this.
17.
22.
32.
19.
19. 14. So, how are you moving forwards?
Can I go first and can I roll a survival to figure out a way that would be the least like intimidating to another animal?
Okay. Are you going?
You know how in June they walk in like that certain way? Would Ulster have any idea how to approach other animals like Shu? Should I roll a survival or animal handling?
I think you would understand that not surprising them
Okay.
is the most important.
Okay. Ulster will turn to Loran and say, "Can you light a fire?"
Loran nods. And you guys all kind of are gathered together because of the heat of this warm cube, and Loran kind of just like holds a hand up and kind of on the edge of your grouping, just sort of like opens a sort of flame and it dances across his palm. It lights up the space around his head, and peering over his shoulder, you see 4 pairs of eyes and teeth about 3 inches long.
Can I see what it is?
It appears to be something like a polar bear, but there is more spine than there should be, and 2 heads fused on top of each other. And it does not seem to react or move, and it doesn't, despite the way I described it. It appears to be about 5 to 10 feet away from you. It doesn't move at all until the flame is lit,
Mm-hmm.
when it sort of begins to kind of like move and ripple and kind of looks discomforted, and it starts slowly moving towards Loran.
Okay. I am going to try and snuff Loran's flame, but I'm going to move to the side and cast my own.
Okay, so I think what we'll need is a
Initiative.
initiative. Anybody who is going to sort of be... So, anybody who is engaging in this, I need you to please roll me some initiative.
17. Where are my other die?
Also in terms of a battle map, natural 20, nice. This is just a stretch, flat ice. The only goal that you guys have is the ice cave that's about 5 feet ahead of you. So, I would like, please, 25 to 20.
20. I'm just gonna hang up and then call again. Because okay.
Okay, 20 to 15.
17.
Angel.
16.
Okay.
17.
So, Cass, do you have the higher dex or is that Ulster?
Oh, +1. I think we have the same. Bless you.
Bless.
You guys can roll again then. Whoever gets higher.
Not me. Got 3 plus 1, 4.
That's an Ulster. Sorry, Leah, what did you roll?
16.
Also, just to mention quickly, I have a feature,
Mhm.
so it's not going to want to attack me.
That's
It has to make a wisdom save if it does try.
Okay.
Emma.
It is acting on its own kind of motivation,
Yeah.
so you'll if it does go towards you, I'll explain kind of what it looks like, because it really makes sense.
That's just any creature.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emma. The Wi-Fi's terrible, so the delay is real. I have +1 to the dex.
Okay.
If you roll less than a 3, then you're behind me. If you roll more,
All right. Oh, would you believe it?
I rolled an 11
9.
for initiative.
11.
Also, I don't know if this will help, but if anyone has an Ethernet cable, I connected my computer to my router and that stopped the issues.
Run.
I don't have an Ethernet port. I have 3 USB-C.
which one? Do you have your mug?
It's just fine. Your fave. Okay. Well, if you like, what we can do, whilst we just really quickly get ready for this round of whatever this might be, should we just do a very quick tea refill? And maybe, George, you can sort out your Wi-Fi, if that helps.
It won't be sorted.
Would you like some druid? Okay.
Terrible.
Sure. Never had it before.
Um,
Okay. We'll be back in a sec.
Okay, like 5 minutes? Or
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Got it.
I'll turn the sound off.
Cut this hair. Thank you for the chocolate.
We have unleashed the cats.
Okay, it's
Lala.
No, I think throughout we were getting big echo. Oh, hello,
oh,
hello, little man.
Echo from
George especially.
Yeah, it's because of her headphones.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
is it
but
possible? Is it possible to like turn her volume down while still being able to hear her on your end? Or have we done all that before and adjusted? Maybe it. Yeah.
yeah. I think it was George's voice echoing through Lily's mic.
I kicked it to him.
Oh.
Hello.
If you treat everything as normal, then he won't know. He won't think you did it on purpose.
I know.
Oh,
Boy,
God.
smooshed face.
What a
he's a
cute-
little bit of mochi.
He's very edible.
Tasty. Shoe?
Have they got collars? Did I hear like the tingle of a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hidden.
It's a bit hard, you can't see this one. Let's Laz, I'll show you his one. Lala! Oh, there you are. Come here. Laz doesn't like being picked up. You can see a red collar.
Oh. Nice.
oh.
Oh my
He
God.
likes to be cuddled, but he does not like to be picked up and held. Was it Laz? Yeah. Lazzle dazzle. Hey, come here. Ladle. Oh, he loves you. Come here, Ladle. Ladle. We also call him Ladle.
You scoop him up.
Say hello. He does not like to be picked up. Ladle and bagel.
I think he's going to start doing his twirly arms.
Wriggle time.
Wriggle time.
Oh, he's been very well behaved. Oh,
Long boy.
does.
Yes, he is very long.
He looks like an actual human goblin. So the first time we brought him home, he like climbed up on the kitchen sink. And just from the distance, it was just like this man, like this strange little goblin man just climbing around our house. There's the real little lad.
Little bagel who ate a chocolate twist last night and we had to make him throw up.
Uh-huh.
Very naughty.
It was sad.
My goodness.
They're both very naughty.
Indeed. Right, I'm gonna turn my sound off.
Sorry, just tried a couple of different headphones. They're not working at the minute.
That's a change. Okay. So,
I'm going to add some cold water to my tea.
let's continue. Recording still okay, Thomas?
Second.
This is recording still okay?
Yes, my solution seems to be effective. I just plugged all my
Amazing.
stuff in. So it's working well.
Cool.
No, that's the kitchen.
Oh no.
They're both in the kitchen.
No! So,
Get out.
first up in the order, and you guys can, this is just so that I can understand if there's something you want to do that you can do it, and that we have an order of like action. So you don't actually have to do anything in your turn if you don't want to, or if you don't have a plan. So, Bluey, what you see is Lorath light up his flame and this creature behind him, who I would classify as a large creature similar to Shu, about 10 feet away, begins to move towards him, having a very strong reaction, to the flame.
As in, like,
If you want to investigate this creature, if you want to defer, you may.
okay. I think. Could she do insight? May not be the right thing. It might be like
Sure.
animal handling. But I think she wonders whether this is the final trial. But maybe not.
What? Sorry, the final trial. Ah, okay.
Can oh, okay. Actually, she is going to use that command word on her necklace to just light it up so that it's like bright for 30 feet, dim for 30 feet, and see if it's like if this thing will not go towards Loran and will if it's light, not fire.
So, within the light, I'm going to tell you guys something that all of you will immediately see. But Lucas will affirm it for you because he's next in the queue. As your light kind of expands, you see the whole body of this creature, and she is emaciated, really. You can see every stretch and pull of muscle as she moves. You see how weathered her skin is. There is just no meat on those bones. And she does not turn towards you, Bluey. She stays on Loran. And for a moment you're confused as to why. And then Lucas just quietly says from behind you, "It's blind." And you can see that its eyes, all four of them, are completely milky white.
It's the mind.
It's blind.
Oh, blind.
Like,
oh, okay, right.
So,
okay. I
we
think
have that piece of information.
okay, I think what I did there was an action, or maybe it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, if there's something else you want to do, this is a bit more flexible than a regular initiative.
Yes,
You're
it's an
right,
action. I think. Oh, shot in the dark, literally. She'll say in Draconic, "You don't look okay." Just who knows?
Okay.
I end
you don't.
my turn, card face down.
The only person who seems able to understand what you're saying. Well, actually, does anyone else speak Draconic?
Slayer, yeah.
Slayer, you understand, and courage perks up around your neck, and it's like, "I am perfectly fine, Bluey Sparks." But otherwise, the creature does not respond. And we'll move on to Lucas if you're done with that.
No.
Yeah.
No, ladle down.
Lucas says, "It's blind." And then his eyes turn on you, all stare. And he sees that kind of paralysis coming over you as, I'll explain fully. You sort of freeze up in space. And he moves to stand in front of you and protects you, or at least tries to, from this creature. Cass? It's still moving towards Loran.
If I do an insight check, that's isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to attempt to charm it. Once per short rest, I can cause a creature in a 10-foot cube from me to make a wisdom saving throw or become charmed or frightened. It's part of
Wisdom
my
save.
thing. Yes, wisdom save, please.
It's not one, it's the other one.
Did you say 6? That
Yeah,
is a fail. So now this creature is charmed by me.
Okay. Are you commanding it to move or do anything?
I'm going to command it to just stop.
Okay.
Because I want
It
to help
stops.
it. I don't want to harm it, but I don't want it to
No.
attack anyone.
It stops and then it does one more than that. It will not go any closer to Lorraine. It starts to, the moment it loses function of its body to go forwards, it starts moving back and retreating slightly. And there's like a moment where it tries to like, almost tries to come forward and then sort of like falls back again. You know how like a wild horse might if you were trying to tame it.
Can I just sort of get it to, I don't want to like, whilst I've charmed it, I don't want to cause it any distress. So can I just sort of think calming, sort of pleasant things at it to try and get it to just stand still and so we can help it?
Yeah. This seems to be the closest you can get to that. As you kind of like try and send calming sort of emotions towards it. Ulster.
Yes.
When Loran lights up the fire in his hands and you see the creature, there is a moment where you see another face in the flames and you don't see Loran anymore. Almost a mask over him in the smoke that kind of comes from his fire, you see Cruel. And it's not the Cruel you saw in the charisma trial. It's the one that could hurt you.
Okay.
And wreathed in flame is one that reminds you of him when you were much younger.
Okay. Ulster will stagger back and then he'll freeze up and he's no longer looking at the creature.
Sleep.
No. No, we do not eat the fake flowers. No, we don't.
Is the creature between us and getting to the cave?
We don't do this.
No.
Okay, then
It seems like it's moved away from the cave.
Slea's gonna go for the cave.
Okay, you make a run for the cave, and when you go inside, you see Alabek's team with the who would it be?
Can I retcon that I've told people that I've charmed it? So that people aren't gonna then do anything to the creature. Be like, I got it!
Sure. You see Zor, one of the members of Albec's team, who you haven't seen much from yet. You know that the Dark Elf Indira has some kind of elemental magic. You know that Valda has a transformation sort of magic from how she helped you in the dexterity fight. And you know that Alabek is somewhat of a more inclined to be a wizard. You haven't seen much from Zor before. They are taking watch. Considering they are a much smaller team, they appear to be doing it one at a time. And Zor has an open wound that is gushing on the floor. And his other party members are freezing to the ice. They are fusing to the floor.
Open that door.
Did she have to dash to get there, or can that just be her movement?
No, it's within walking distance of you.
Okay.
You have movement as well.
Okay. So she's gonna kind of put the warmth cube like amidst like the like in the middle of the group so they don't freeze to death.
Yeah.
Can that be like a
action with the rest?
Okay, so I need that's my action.
Interacting with an object, I think.
Okay, because it was more like she was just gonna like kind of drop it and go for like a heal.
Sure. Okay. In that case, then yeah.
How bad does this wound look?
It looks life-threatening. This person is not conscious.
Okay, so like Zor is not at all conscious at all.
No, the closest thing
twice.
is that, yeah, not conscious at all.
Like, does the entire party look like they're in dire straits in terms of like healing?
Not in terms of healing. They seem to be solidifying and fusing with the floor up until that point. When you put the warmth cube, you kind of got close enough to see just for a split second that at least Alabek's eyes were, although he could not move, wide open and darting in panic. So paralyzed but not dying. You think the warmth cube should be enough for them, at least for now. Zora is the one who needs the immediate medical attention.
Okay, cool. Slia drops just a heal on Zor.
Okay.
So 70 HP,
Amazing.
ends conditions. Yeah.
The wound stitches itself back together. The blood seems to like unfreeze and pull back inside him. And you kind of feel them kind of take that kind of breath, and it is no longer resembling a death rattle. They appear to be breathing alive again. And all pronouns.
Yep, that's action, bonus action, movement done. She's just going to be kind of standing over them, like.
Cool. So, next up in the order would be Sarazen, who, mimicking Lucas somewhat, moves to stand in front of Loran and blocks him from sight. Neff, is there anything you would like to do? You've seen all of this going down.
Okay, there is one thing that I would like to do.
What is this?
Which is I would like to be intimidating. I would like to use dark vision on myself so that I can give myself 60 feet of dark vision so I can see. Because you can't see otherwise.
Brilliant.
Second.
Okay. Yeah, so when you click on that dark vision, beyond the light of Bluey's sort of like, beyond the light of Bluey's gem of brightness and beyond Loran's flame, you see, I think you probably see the ice cave that Celia ran into just in full clarity. You see this creature incredibly clearly. It also appears to be in pretty bad shape. It does not appear to be healthy, though it is not openly bleeding. And we would see the tail end of Sleer disappearing down into the cave. And I think, you know she's a healer. You know what she's probably off to do.
Okay. I think I'll follow Sleer, just to be safe.
So you can get right up next to Sleer, and you'll see exactly what she sees, which is that, you'll see exactly what she sees, which is that Zor is on the floor, and she is healed.
On the floor.
Zaure. Zor. I previously mistook this name that I made up myself and pronounced it as Vor once, and I was like, what? And then I realised it wasn't a V, it was a Z.
Does not have any Vor in this campaign.
No. Zora's on the floor and they are no longer wounded, but still quite in shock.
Okay, Nev will be there, and just in case, if she can help out with any sort of medical stuff that Sleep might want, then she's there for that.
Next up is Loran, and realising that this creature is reacting to the flame, he snuffs it and he says, I think it's the heat, not the light. Bluey should be fine. At which point it is the creature's turn. As you guys are all standing there, looking at some of you split off to help the others who are
Sorry.
no longer protected by fire, or at least the heat of it. You see this creature try to shake off the charm. Does a 17 beat your save?
No, I also don't think you can do that once you failed
It
charm
repeats
save.
on its.
Can you do that?
It repeats on its turn.
What's the
I
spell?
don't think it. I don't think it can shake it off, but I think it only lasts one round.
What's the spell?
What was it? Charm creature or charm monster.
It's Fae present, so I can charm a creature.
Oh, it's a. Right. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a spell, but it's a effect that you can sort of just invoke.
Yes.
Okay.
But
How
also,
does it last?
regardless, a 17 wouldn't have beat it anyway. So even if we want to play that, it's still charmed.
And how long does it last? Just so I know.
It doesn't say, but I'm going to assume it's the same as charm person, which is an hour, isn't it?
I do not remember. I have not used a spell in much now.
Charm person, I think, is an hour.
Let me find it. Hang on a second. Oh, I've switched off my.
Fey presence 5e. Let's see. I'm just going to see what the online sphere says.
These boys are fighting each other on the table.
First level.
Come here. Why are you being silly?
Wisdom saving throw.
Being silly.
It's until the end of your next turn.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So they are still charmed. Yeah, they're still charmed for this turn. And you have one more kind of command on that creature if you wish to. And they are just doing the same thing. Now that the fire is gone, that hesitation is kind of leaving them, but they are just kind of like stalking the edge of your group, trying to kind of like turn their head in the air and gather like, you know, where they are, what their surroundings are, just from smell alone. Right.
Okay.
You have this creature charmed for another 6 seconds. Do you want to stay in the initiative, or is there anything that anybody wants to try and do to help or attack or interact with this creature?
For initiative, are we?
Yeah, I was just saying if. Yeah, so what I said was, even though we're in initiative, do you guys? It's up to you because it is charmed. If you want to.
Okay,
Sort of move out of initiative and try something. You only have an opening of about 6 seconds. But I'll allow you guys to kind of take control of it if you wish to, because there is no actual threat at the moment. Yeah.
I think whilst it's still charmed, and I know that the charm isn't going to last very long, I'm going to, seeing as no one's sort of got an idea or just sort of like wary of this creature, I think I'm just going to command it to go like as far away from us as possible, just so that then we have a bit of time to regroup and decide if we want to attack it, if we want to flee. But I'm just going to basically be like, go away.
Okay, in that case, Bluey, is there anything else you wanted to do, seeing as you would have been just before casting the order? Lucas doesn't really have, he just wants to protect. So, is there something you would like to do as a choice?
Look, she knows that rations are probably not the tastiest, but she's going to try as fast as possible to get 4 of her remaining 5 rations out and sort of put them on the ground and maybe half move to the cave.
Okay. So, Bluey, you toss your rations into the cave.
No. Wait, is the thing in the cave?
No, I thought you said I might have misheard you.
No, towards the creature.
Okay. So you toss your rations towards the creature, and they land at its feet immediately. As much as it can act freely, not on its turn, it immediately kind of starts sniffing and like pawing at them, and they're gone in a second.
Am I able to respond?
more rations than I thought I did. Oh no.
You can throw a handful of them for sure. It's going to have the same effect. It does eat them.
Okay.
Lucas turns to you, all stare, and just shakes your shoulders as hard as he can to kind of get you back in action.
Okay.
And at the same time, Cass, you command that creature. How are you commanding it? Do you just say it in your mind as like a mental connection, or do you say it out loud?
I think I sort of. I just sort of whisper like go.
Yeah.
It's not like a threatening one. I just kind of want it to think it should run in a different direction rather. I don't want it to feel like I'm chasing it away. I just think because I've got command of it, it suddenly has the urge to run in a different direction rather than flee from where we are.
Sure. It starts to move away from you. It's quite slow in its movements, but by the time also you are back to your senses, it is roughly 80 feet away.
Okay. So Bluey threw rations down, correct?
Yeah.
And we're all kind of in a circular form around Yeen at this point.
Yeen is like ahead of you, and you guys are in like its sort of shadow at the moment. You guys are kind of clumped together.
Okay, Ulster, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ulster is going to act with the vague wildlife knowledge I have.
Yeah.
We fed it now, it will come back.
Oh.
Ulster he'll start walking after it, but he's not running. And he'll just turn back and say, if you're not confident with animals, please stay back. Basically, if you have bad animal handling.
I think Cass will start following, and while she's following, she's going to cast Speak with Animals, which is a ritual, so she's going to be like doing it as they walk.
Okay.
It might not, I mean, it might be too long time to cast, but that's what she's going to.
I'll keep it in mind as you go forward. So before we go out of initiative, because we will do after this, Cillian, is there anything you would like to do?
Any additional, like, I guess, medical care she can do for, like, kind of reset their camp? Maybe, like, relight their fire or something?
You set to work. Probably with Neff's help.
Survival check?
Yeah. Neff, would you like to assist with that, seeing as you were saying some help?
He most definitely would love to.
Okay.
2 rolls or 1 with advantage?
I'm going to say it's up to you.
You can roll with advantage if you'd like.
Okay. Nice! 26.
Ooh.
Oh, Baz just tackled last.
Was that his?
Might have been.
Boy.
Baz is a bit territorial sometimes.
Yeah.
Not that he's scary at all.
No. None of them are aggressive.
He looks like a giant marshmallow. Laz could deck him if he tried.
Really could. He does. He does bully Laz a little bit.
He does bully him, yeah.
But Laz kind of deserves it.
Hi,
shush.
Such a distinguished gentleman. No, Baz.
Oh, look.
He'll come back. We'll try and get him again. So Laz just sits here being very sweet and gentlemanly. And Baz stalks him.
It was really funny. Oh.
He's coming for you, you know, don't you? He's right there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It's his tail that he likes.
Yeah.
Baz is literally like, yeah. So Baz will do that all day.
Yeah. They entertain each other.
Yeah.
So,
One of them's
back
entertained.
in. Talia, Neff, did you guys decide to go together or one of you rolling?
Oh, it was a 26.
26, brilliant.
He's mean, isn't he?
With that, you guys are able to relight the fire. You're able to sort of also move them onto your cloaks and furs, making sure they are as protected as possible from the elements. Because even though it is a standard temperature now, they are still suffering a bit from the cold. It seemed that 5 minutes, if that, where they had no heat, no fire at all, was enough to start shutting their bodies down, even if slowly. Alobek is moving his jaw and trying to kind of like come back to his senses slightly, but you can tell he's not quite there in his mind. And when he sees that Zor is lying on the floor and like their armor and their clothing is torn over their wound, you see a bit of panic in his eyes, and he starts to look to the rest of his team. And I think, that you can tell that having the two of you there, in a way, is sort of comforting him, even if it's just to know that his team is probably safe. So. Oh, Neck, you're good with clothes. You could also, if you wanted to try and mend the tear on Zor's clothing, you could do so if you wanted to.
I think if she has the opportunity, she would try mending.
Yeah, you can just have that sort of slowly going in the background. Salazar is standing back, and Lucas looks hesitant, unsure whether he should follow. Also, ultimately, you watch, and you look back over your shoulder just for a brief moment to see who follows, and you see that both him and Salazar are guarding the entrance to that cave, and only Loran is hesitating between the two and is looking after you, and you get the impression he's not sure what to do or where to go.
So it's just Ulster and Cass who have walked after the creature?
At the moment, yes.
Okay. Does Ulster know how Loran is with animals? Not great.
He's alright with Shu, and he's very smart. But
I think Ulster will just signal Loran to keep a distance, but he can come if you want.
Loran kind of whips off his own magic carpet and sort of heads up into the sky. Okay. In doing so, relighting a flame that he knows the other creature can't chase to keep himself.
Spells. I think Anna wants to say something.
Bluey has a +7 to animal handling, so she will.
You wanna come? Yeah!
Mm.
Oh my god. It's Bluey, Cass, and Ulster in a flying V. Because every D&D game needs a freaking flying V. So, the best things come in threes.
Bluey can bring light, so that's good.
Bluey, you hold the gem of brightness and you kind of light the path ahead. And it is grey, scrapped, rough ice beneath your feet. And you can see the paws of this creature are thickly calloused. And the fur has been completely just rubbed off the backs of its like arms right all the way up to its haunches, exposing the kind of pads which kind of cover its claws, which are just pitch black. There's no feeling there at all. The skin, sort of the fur of this creature is palest white.
Pale as Ulster?
Pale as Ulster, almost translucent, similar to like a fish deep in the water. The only colour that's to it is from its skin beneath and the blood within it, which is a almost purple kind of hue. And its eyes around the rim are pink, red, and weeping. And the irises are milky, no idea of what colour they might have been when it was able to see, if it was ever able to see. And it gets to about 100 feet, and then it stops, and it starts like kind of wriggling uncomfortably, and turns around to look at the three of you.
Can I sense any... You know how Shu has like a bit of a psychic aura around her? Can I sense any arcane or psychic aura around this creature?
Yeah.
Arcana check?
Yeah.
23.
For the 23, you do, not as strong as Shu's. Not quite as strongly as Shu. This creature doesn't seem to have the same kind of link to magic, whatever that might be.
Okay.
But there is something.
Ulster will approach very slowly, making sure that his footsteps are making sound, so that the creature can judge what he is. And shall I roll animal handling?
Yeah. Is anybody else going to approach?
25.
25.
What? How long has it been? Probably not. Very long.
About 2 minutes, but you're not quite there.
I will also roll.
I'd approach slowly. Yeah, I'd try.
Okay. 25. We'll make this a group check.
Just checking I shut the door.
21.
21. Some panic.
11.
11. That's okay. You've never seen this kind of creature before, so it's new to you.
Oh, blimey! Sorry, no.
Oh, blimey.
I've never seen this creature before. Sorry.
With a 19 overall, you guys are able to approach this creature, and it keeps its distance. It doesn't close the space between you. It does not look aggressive, but it does not look comfortable or friendly to you yet.
I mean, did you say like the fur? Its fur looks a bit like thin.
Yes,
So
it's definitely not as well cared for or loved as she has been.
She's very well loved and cared.
True. But I must say, you guys passed your animal handling check. It does not look friendly to you, but it's not approaching you aggressively.
Okay.
Bluey, yes, the fur is quite thin.
don't know.
Bluey looks sad.
Don't know.
Ulster will pat Bluey on the arm and just say, the rations were a good idea, but it needs more than that.
Just because I feel remiss for not having said anything yet. Shu, in this whole time, has been sort of like, funny enough, when two cats who've met before meet each other, and one of them will go like,
Yeah, she's like that in the background.
she was kind of moved away and is like keeping her distance, and also you see she looks quite small from here considering how far away she is from you. You know that she could cross that distance at the moment if she wanted to, but she's specifically keeping away, keeping apart.
There's no animals around that we can see, is there?
Not that you can see others.
Okay. I'm going to try something.
I'm also thinking of something, but I don't think it's going to work. Anyway.
No, I don't think Ulster would do that. Ulster knows this creature needs food, and he knows there's no food around. He could feed animals, but he's like, but I love animals.
What about a nice big garden salad?
Big garden salad. Is this actually a vegetarian? This
It-
full-eyed creature with huge teeth.
Is this thing as big as Shu or bigger, did you say?
As big as, but not. I wouldn't say any bigger because they are quite skinny.
Okay. Ulster knows that a hungry animal is much more likely to attack to eat them. He looks between Cass and Bluey and says, "This creature will come back. We fed it. It will want more. I can try and feed it again, but it won't be a pretty thing to watch." Hello, Lazarus.
Do it.
Yeah, like a seal or something.
I think Cass has a feeling that Brian's going to summon some creatures and be like, here.
Okay.
What are you going to summon? Pixies?
Literally, Dreadlord Brian. Pixies.
I'm just going to ask Emma something quickly, depending on how disturbing this is going to be.
I was thinking to do rally on this creature, but I don't think we're friendly with it, so I don't think I can give it temporary hit points. But I feel like that would be fun.
I had a thought we could put it in the locket and then get it out at another date when we can give it actual creatures. But
Bring it to the tropics.
But then it's probably not the best idea if we need the locket. So, because then we don't want to have to take out the creature to put in one of us, and then the creature's there like, delicious. Probably mid-battle, like, yum yum.
I don't think I have much else. I would have some water, maybe. But it's tinderbox. We could have a small fire. I mean, you can probably make fire anyway. These are the fire making hands.
So I want to preface this by saying Ulster, this was not Ulster's the first thing he wanted to do, but the other idea, which would hurt Ulster more, is not good content for the game. So instead, Ulster will pull out his bag of tricks. Emma looks horrified.
Oh, you're going to do bag of tricks?
Yeah, because they'll disappear as soon as they die. But they're still solid animals.
Okay.
Do you not like that?
No,
I can do the pixies as well.
But
then what am I going to polymorph?
No, I was going to say, I think that's, yeah.
Okay, he will pull out his bag of tricks, and he will throw out 3 different ones, and I'll roll them really quickly. Surrounded by cats, don't go away.
There's some last sneeze.
No delicious ice for you, cats.
Stop eating my dice. Not for you.
I also have a puffer. She's lying on the floor looking. Her sister's also here.
A giant rat.
Oh my god.
A giant boar. And a giant weasel.
Yummy!
Wow.
These 3 animals are popped out from Ulster's bag, and they start running towards this creature, and then immediately it's just like carnage. And it's just there's blood and gore and guts. She swallows them whole. And just like lets
Also just covers Bluey's eyes. He's like
drip down.
It also looks like he's crying a little bit. He's like, "This is why I'm a pescatarian, but you see, it's really hungry and it's gonna die."
This is the sort of stuff that, as a meat eater, you try and forget. But
That's the way it is.
Yeah. It was
Okay, the
either
creatures
the-
vanished as soon as I did.
It was either that we kill this creature or we feed it. So
This is a creature of Yin, and those were creatures that were made of magic that actually had no actual sentience, so also looks horrified at himself.
Have we brought in like the zombie problem, the philosophical thing of like, you know,
Philosophical
something
zombies. I
acts
listened to that episode the other day.
Cass holds his hand.
Okay. As soon as she's done eating,
She looks up, licks her lips.
okay, that should have been enough to make
long-
her full. He's gonna just
Belly looks distended.
okay. He's gonna walk up to her at that point, very slowly.
How long has time been? Is it? That was a weird sentence.
About
Has it
halfway
been?
there. Halfway there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All step.
Okay. So Shu can understand Messian, correct?
Yes.
He's going to try and speak in a calming voice, even though the creature might not understand him.
Okay.
And he's just going to say, "We don't mean you any harm. Please don't attack us."
When you speak in massage, it tries to follow. You can tell that in its eyes. There's somewhat of an intelligence there. But it doesn't seem like it's getting every single word. Either there's a language barrier or mental barrier.
Okay. He will try it again in simpler words. So basically, he'll just say that again, but with only the main words.
So, do you want to? So, how would you say?
No harm, don't hurt.
Maybe an animal handling check.
Natural 20, 30.
30.
Oh my god.
Heck yeah.
This is the one area that also is like,
It sniffs, and then it presses its sort of jaw up against your throat, and it smells you, and it leans down and starts sniffing the bag where the food came from, and then
it won't smell like anything.
doesn't smell like anything, so it walks slowly past you, and it starts moving towards Bluey. Bluey, when it gets to you, it starts nuzzling your bag and trying to sort of like tear it from you, and you're almost being pulled backwards. Do you have any more rations?
Give it the rations, I'll still say.
Yeah, I think D&D Beyond says I had both 5 and 10 rations left, so I'm just going to say that I'm going to give another 5.
You try and open your bag to give like 5 rations. It just at that point it's in your bag and you kind of have to step away from it.
Excuse me?
Like a cat.
It's like a cat. It's eating.
Okay. Hey Emma, would you say this creature is friendly?
It's hungry. It's more amicable than it's ever been. What are you trying to do?
Lasse's trying to get in the kitchen.
I think she would like to. She'd like to confirm that this creature is maybe friendly, maybe with a small pat, like on the
Touch it. Give me an
on the nose.
handling check.
Please, please be good. Please be good. Okay. That's.
Oh, Baz.
Oh my goodness. God, these two.
Very chill.
Just vibes. What's your animal handling?
He's fine.
Bluey, what's your animal handling?
It's a 15.
15. You reach out and it goes and pulls away and keeps eating, and then as it's sort of eating, it kind of nudges against you every now and again. It doesn't seem to be attacking. It's slow process, and Cass, you've got about a minute, 2 minutes left on your spell.
Amazing. I mean, I've just looked in my weapon, and it says I have boar / rabbit meat, but I'm like, that was from the first campaign. I mean, I know my bag of colding is cold, but I'm sure that can't be good.
It's probably fermented.
To be fair, I'll get it out and give it anyway.
Small issue. Slia has the bag of holding.
Oh, then Cass is like,
I only have some arms lying around.
Would Emma?
Hi.
Could I try and use rally on this creature to give it some temporary hit points? And by some I mean 1d8.
Okay. So how do you rally it?
Good boy. Good creature.
There.
Please don't slobber on my bag. That's how she'll say it.
I will have you, because animal handling is wisdom, isn't it?
Yeah. Wisdom.
So then I will say that you can attempt this with a wisdom check.
Just a check. Just straight up.
Just straight up. I'll give you advantage because it's a good idea.
Okay.
Hiding from the bully.
That's a 19. Thank you for that advantage.
19. It finishes with the meat, and as it does so, it seems to relax slightly, and it tolerates you touching it.
Okay. I mean, I don't need to be touching it, but it's more that like I would like it to be friendly, so that then I can give it temporary.
How about this? It is friendly enough. It's tolerant that you can give it temporary HP.
Okay. So I expend a superiority dice because I guess I have, by my understanding, just one of them. D8 plus charisma modifier, which I think is 0. Oh, that's not that much.
Wait, did we talk about superior?
In the rally thing, which as in like because this isn't like a regular fighter ability, but it's
special. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's only 2 hit points.
It's okay. It's something. So the creature is becoming more and more tolerant of you. Back in the cave, Slia, Neff, Sarazer, and Lucas, Albeck finally is able to sit up, and he first calls to his team to check that they are all okay, and then he looks to you and he just says, "Thank you. It doesn't like fire, or heat or something. I don't think."
We saw your fire go out, so we just headed over.
He nods. Where is it now?
Making friends.
I think. Sarah, did you see what happened?
Sarazer is keeping an eye out from the distance, and he just says, "They fed it." And Albeck looks horrified.
With what?
They fed it. It's a monster.
Rude. That's subjective.
It tried to kill.
It's hungry. It's just another creature.
He gives you. I sense I've made a mistake of some kind.
You hear distant calls of, "It's not a monster, it's a friend." You're not a monster.
Haven't we all been hangry at one point or another? Neff doesn't say that.
Albeck looks at you with confusion.
This is not the appropriate time. But she thinks it.
Everyone also fed people to shoe.
Regardless, Albeck. It's not here now.
They were meat people.
He kind of shakes his head and kind of centers himself. He looks at you, Slayer, and just, thank you. And he looks to you again as well, Neff. Thank you for healing us. That's my mum.
Neff nods.
Hang on.
The staple mum call. It would not be D&D without it.
So,
That is amazing. That's a feature.
so. What was I? Yes, you have Albeck say, he's thank you.
Of course.
Where is the rest of your team?
Believe they're Sarah, can you see anything else out there?
Zara's grimaces and just says it's searching for more food in their bags and their belongings, and it is now nuzzling Bluey's.
We come back arm in arm.
Zara says pointedly. Although he doesn't look like he quite believes it yet. But it's friendly.
Do you want to take the box, the summoning box, and see if you can pull more food out for it?
Zara said that's brilliant.
And also maybe another warming cube. You somehow managed to hear it.
Slea's not parting ways with that warming cube at the moment. Nope. Happy in the warm cave.
Yeah, no, as in get another one from the box.
Oh. I haven't drawn anything from the box today.
You haven't tried a magical item yet. You have to make a saving throw in order to do so.
What's the saving throw?
It's a DC 20 wisdom save.
Let me do it.
Sleer is the one who has the box.
Damn it.
DC 20 wisdom save. Here we go.
Let's do it.
What is he doing?
Another thermal cube. Can I, since I know that what I'm doing, can I pull a resistance as well?
Resistance?
Resistance is for saves, guidance is for checks.
Let this happen.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Very good on the prayer. So that is a max on the resistance of 4. I need a calculator. That's too much maths.
It's going to be over 20.
Oh, it's definitely going to be over 20, but I just want to know how much over 20. It would help if I had my numlock key turned on. 29.
With a 29, you pull out a second thermal cube from the abracadabras, along with some beefsteaks and half a reindeer. If that is what you wish.
Yep, and Sleia sends Sarazar on the way with it.
Okay. Everybody on Cass, Bluey, all stare. Sarazu turns a corner, and the creature immediately looks up and starts rushing towards him. And Sarazu is like, and holds his ground and just like throws the food onto the floor ahead of him, and it just like slips and skids to a halt and just starts tearing apart the food here.
And has been 10 minutes.
Yes.
Where's last?
It's
I'm gonna
moving
wait
around.
until it's finished eating. Start talking to it though, because I feel like when you're mid chow, you don't want that position.
Yeah. So you watch it begin to sort of like eat and tear down its food.
Also looks a bit too happy.
Yeah.
He's fully recovered from his tears. He's now like,
However, when Sarazu kind of activates the cube, it immediately just kind of like pulls away, dragging the corpse with it, and just the carcass with it, and stays away from the cube.
such a pretty.
It
So let me know
finishes
once
eating. Yeah, it finishes eating.
Okay, I think Cass is then going to but still trying to be kind of in the cube, but also closer to it, because obviously she's probably cold. And then she's we mean you no harm.
It stops eating, looks at you, and then looks back at its food.
I thought it'd finished
Also-
eating, so I was waiting until it was done before I
Yeah, it's bones by this point. It's just licking them.
Oh,
It's not actually like eating.
it can walk and I can understand it as well with that. Yeah. So is it just choosing not to speak at this point?
It doesn't respond to you.
Did you say I know
What-
from there?
I was going to say, you would have noticed that Cass was doing this.
What?
Can I insight check the creature?
Sure.
19.
Indeed. It seems very independent as a creature. Looking around this landscape, you can tell there's not much around for a lot while. And I think you can tell that it's just not spoken, if it can speak, in so long that it's taking a moment for it to process. Its base sort of instincts are bones, eat the bones, and it's thinking.
Okay. Also, we'll just put a hand on Cass's shoulder. You need to give it time.
It's
She's
just,
like 10 minutes.
it chews the bones and breaks them in between its teeth. It licks the marrow from the inside. And then when it's done with those, it kind of kicks at the ice and just kind of sniffs the ground and moves around a sort of lumbering way, its back kind of rippling. And do you try to speak to it again at any point?
Yeah, I think once it's sort of finished, I think she's going to go, what do you need? How can we help?
It just shakes its head.
Oh, hello.
Don't know.
I think are you trapped here?
Why can I smell poop? I can smell cat poop. Unless Baz just did a really stinky fart. Which is always a possibility.
The creature just says, I can't go far. Too deep here.
Arcana check to see if it's sort of magically trapped here, or just sort of can't leave because of more natural.
Yeah.
Also, I might also suggest to Cass, can you ask it if it speaks any other languages?
Yeah, that was an 18 on my Arcana.
Yep. It seems that it's a mix of both, in that there is some sort of magic, keeping it here, but there's also, you just know, if this is what you think it is, if this is Yin, then it is the North Pole. And Masai is large enough and barren enough that a trek from here to civilization, as much as there is civilization, is almost insurmountable.
I think, by the way, Cass will be translating anything he says and will have communicated the magic thing. She'll then ask, do you speak any languages?
And the creature replies, Sylvan, something like it.
Then she will let Brian. I think she'll then speak to Brian in common and say, what if we offer to destroy it in this place?
She got out. She got out and look at her. I don't think these creatures should only exist here. There is space in the Maasai for them. There's food in the Maasai for them that is not people.
She will sort of say, would you like us to free you from here?
She says, I'm not strong enough to break away. I'm one of the weaker.
We can help. Will you let us?
It's not my choice to make.
Charger. My computer will die really quickly. Should I just I'm just going to get my charger because my battery's got Baz sitting on me, and I think he just did a stinky.
Uh-oh,
smelly.
stinky.
Uh-oh, he's stinky. Stinky.
Baz,
He's sitting on me.
So
are
comfy.
you fighting on your mother?
I kind of hate that stinky meme. Mostly the voice. Well, I also the image with it. It's anyway.
Stinky.
But it's fun to say.
It is fun to say.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
Uh-oh, stinky.
I like the Anna rendition. It's good.
Thank you.
So,
Purring.
At that, I think Cass would say, every creature has a choice. I know what it is to be trapped. We can free you if you let us.
after that, the creature just shakes its head and goes back to sniffing the floor.
Can I try and Sylvan to speak to it?
Sure.
But I will try. I know there's a couple of different Sylvan people here. I'm going to try and speak specifically in the way that my parents would have spoken, rather than maybe the more Feywild style. Are you afraid?
It looks at you. It's too cold to feel anything.
Then you need to leave. My friend left, and he'll gesture back towards where she is to like.
Looks over at Shu. She is stronger in magic than me.
She wasn't.
Did you teach her?
I did.
She now sniffs the ground again.
Has Brian translated it?
He would, yeah. Also, there's a few other Sylvan speakers here, right?
Cass and Bluey, do either of you still speak Sylvan?
Oh, it's just the three of us. Okay. Okay. Yes, he will translate then.
I think just in addition to what the creature said, she will just add, we can learn.
Where are the others?
They ate each other.
Do you have anyone left?
I don't.
We can get you out.
Some are in there.
At you?
They are not the same as me.
What do you mean?
They don't move.
We can get you out. God. It's fine. It's chill. Please don't break.
She says,
Yeah.
What do I do?
Go down. Go on.
You just
Okay.
have to, you just have to make your choice. If you want to leave, we can help you.
You have to come with us and not eat anyone.
Yes, that too.
He looks back at.
I'm gonna have to take that down.
We will give,
Sorry.
but you will get food once we leave.
She nods. I do not trust these kitty cats. I cannot stand the heat,
I have a
no matter
solution.
how cold I get.
What if, and then I think she'd turn to Brian and say, what if we put her in the locket? Now that we know that she's sort of willing to come, we can keep her in the locket until we can get her out in a better way. So she's not tempted by some tastier morsels.
It would stabilize her. We can release you outside of the inner circle. There's food, cover, and it's cold.
She
Question.
nods. Yes.
She seemed to like recoil from the extra heat cube that Sarah's had brought over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Specifically specifically the heat. Yes. Not the heat. So your gem is okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about the fact that, she has no fur.
That will grow once she's sort of better. But if she's in the locket, she shouldn't feel the warmth of fires or cubes or whatever we do. She'll be sort of essentially
Stabilized completely.
asleep.
Because we'd need that warmth. Yeah.
You need to be willing.
It nods.
Then
You
Cass
sit
will step because she's got the locket currently. And she'll sort of like approach sort of very gently and just sort of offer the locket out and wait for the creature to come to her. She really wants this creature to choose this. She doesn't want to force this on her.
The creature looks at you, Cass, and after a few seconds, slowly walks forward and nuzzles at the locket.
As she does, I think Cass will like beautifully reach out and sort of give her like a sort of little stroke on her neck and then sort of activate the locket as it happens.
You give her a little stroke around the ear,
Romy's gonna love this.
and the locket slips shut as she is pulled inside.
You brought back another monster from Yeen? And you're having another baby? What's wrong
Cass will
with you?
be like, pat it and be like, jump on then, everybody, back to the party. Actually, no,
God,
sorry.
you guys have got another pet!
That's
Not like
Cass.
this!
Cass will just pat it, look sad, and then head back to the party.
Is she okay?
Shu relaxes somewhat when the creature is out of sight, and she immediately comes over to you both.
Also gives her a little scratch and says, "Bit territorial, are we?"
I know this place.
Also is not used to this clarity. How?
And then she shakes her head, and the humming that you're used to comes back.
You can tell me. Can I roll another animal handling?
Yeah.
19.
Here she speaks to you clearer than she ever had. And she says,
Yes.
we come from here. Like her. Nods towards the locket. And it's not quite a voice.
Oh.
Similar to Cass when
He just fell.
oh, Cass,
It's okay.
when you speak to the creature, again, it's when I say it's a voice, it's like a hum which has like voice carried with it. It's more like sonorous than an actual like spoken word. And it's the same with you, also, but with Shu. But the thing is that here it's so much clearer and more comprehensive.
When she said we, did she mean the creature and her?
You can basically make that assumption.
So you know this place.
She nods.
What should we expect?
Nothing. Nothing.
Shu, are there any more like you? She said that her kind were frozen, unable to move. And they ate each other.
Shu seems uncomfortable again, and it's the humming, which just conveys to you she doesn't know.
Also put his hands on either side of her head and just gently join their foreheads. It's okay. Let's rest for the night, okay?
You guys walk back with Shu, and Shu goes much slower and takes her own kind of like time to move back. And you make it to the mouth of Albec's cave where Saraza kind of joins you. Lucas is waiting. Slia, Neff, you're both there. And Lucas is the first to speak. When he returns, you just hear him say, "That's not a monster, is it?"
No. In the same way a shoe is not a monster.
And then we treat it like a subject.
We're going to take her out of here. She says the others are frozen, so
We can probably only take the one anyway.
I wonder where they came from. If they can speak Sylvan, then maybe they came with the Lachey.
It's probably a good idea. But they seem very much of the ice.
Created at the same time. Only Sylvanus would probably know.
Then we need to speak to him.
I'm sure he'll love that.
Your father is Lachey.
He was.
And the Lachey blood runs strong, so that makes you almost full.
Almost.
Not quite enough to be immortal, but enough to have a lot.
Also looks at Loran. Long enough.
Just about as long as me.
Alright, old man.
Hey, I have years on you. Lucas nods and then he just says, "He survived. Your father."
He's alive.
Were there others?
He never told me. I never knew his parents or general relatives.
Have you ever met a Lachey before? And looks to the whole group this time.
Baitan.
Lucas frowns.
Oh,
One
Just
in this whole, in all the planes you've been to, just one.
Can I roll a memory check?
Yeah.
It's intelligence, isn't it?
Mm.
That'll be a 16.
Just one.
Just
As far
one.
as you know.
Or 2 if you count me, but I can't really meet myself. Everyone starts like, oh,
yeah, the philosophizing. There we go. That's
philosophy club starts. Discuss.
Big back to the trial being like,
yeah.
Malabek, do you have any knowledge on this?
Alabek looks at you and says, "This is prehistory, but I can divine something or other if I have a connection." He looks at you, Ulster.
What connection do you want?
A drop of your blood or a lock of your hair will do.
Now?
If you want to know right now.
Ulster will put his finger in his mouth, spike it, and then hand over.
Alabek takes a moment to pull out a small sort of like circular glass sheet and just sort of scrapes it off. And he places it carefully on the snow and then makes a well. And then stops and then just says, "Actually, I suppose I could use," and pulls out the bowl, the stone bowl, which he was given the stone bowl which he was given as his token to bring into the trial. And he kind of motions Indira over, and she starts pouring water into it. It's like letting it condense and fall and fill the bowl until...
I know what this is similar to.
Yeah. And then, as she does so, the water just disappears. And she frowns and she says, I don't think it's going to work with this. And Alabek picks up the bowl and looks at it and just says, I'll figure that out later. Pushes it to the side and continues on the way he was casting before. She fills water into a little snow well that he makes, and the blood fills until it is clear, spreading through the water, and he begins to cast, placing runestones around the snow, pressing them down until they leave an impression. From beneath his hands, the water begins to glow and spread through the snow until the whole room is slightly lit. Very similar to Sharpistle's images of water that she conjured at the beginning of the trial ceremony. You see shadows beginning to pour on the edges of this ice cavern.
And then you get Altair's entire life story.
And Alabek is quiet for a while as you watch this spell. It takes a minute or so to cast, and he sits there with it, communing. And it's long enough that you guys start to feel the hours dragging on. The minutes dragging on into hours. And once an hour has passed, he pulls his palms back. Something is stopping us from knowing the full story. I cannot see beyond a certain point. And he looks quite exhausted, like this is some of the most powerful magic that he can do.
What point is that?
Some Lachey did survive. It seems that those who were dealt with were only the ones that were on the ice. Those who were away from Yi for whatever reason were the lucky ones.
I know you probably can't know this, but why would Sylvanus let another Lachey take the throne if he hated us so much? Thinking about wrongly.
I may. Maybe it's not a hatred of the Lachey, but of the act that was done here.
He brought genocide.
Albeck nods.
I'm not saying that it's a reasonable action or justified, but what? Surely something caused Sylvanus to act.
I think it's because they built upon a land he wanted to remain untouched, and they did too much.
Albeck nods and he says, I saw a structure greater than this. This was but a foothill in what they had built.
It's been a marvellous place.
It was dark, but the horizon was amber.
With what?
It seemed like fire.
We've spoken before about how all of these, that perhaps what we can hear is it's a choice like in Melas. All of the tokens you have received, maybe they tell part of the story, and the final intelligence trial is to figure out what happened, choose to either accept it or, I don't know, something that Sylvanus would want if you would.
Sylvanus hates fire.
Isn't fire just
Alex
another
says,
part of
I like
nature?
the idea. Sorry, Celia, please.
She just said, isn't fire just another part of nature?
Ulster nods.
Annabek says, I do not serve Sylvanus. Traditionally, Cerberus is more our realm, our neck of the woods, but I've heard that he has a particular dislike for fire and the destruction that it brings.
Be the way it was used then. I think we all know the dangers of fire, but it can't be blamed wholeheartedly. And he kind of glances at Loran. I'm sure the Lachey then misused it. I'm scared to use fire because I was taught to use it for destruction, but I'm learning, and I don't think I could ever completely remove it from my abilities. Sylvanus surely knows that. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Alabek is quiet, and he says, I suppose we will, won't we?
We should sleep. But I'll take the first watch with Shu. I think Shu is particularly attuned if there were any other creatures like her.
So, sleeping all together in a larger group, you look out also when you start your watch and you see that Narsha's fire is still lit. It's small, it's warming, it's just a speck of light in the distance. And all together, you guys are able to take the benefits of a long rest.
Yay!
Good. I was worried for a bit that we weren't going to have that.
Ulster, you sit with Shu, a different perspective, the same building, Yeen.
Yeen. I'm just redoing all of my spell slots because he used a few of them.
Nev has regained her 2 HP that she lost. Let's go.
Cass has
I'm
regained
counting down until I can order food.
that she lost.
Okay, I am on top of Shu, and I'm like, good Shu. which is okay. Massage.
So, you guys will rest. Is there anything you want to say to Shu?
I think he'll just lean his head on hers, chin up. I know that we're not the same type of creature, I guess, but if you need anything, you can tell me, because I know you suffer in the same way.
Shu nods and says, sort of partially comprehensible. You're more like me than anyone.
Also kind of snuggles down in her fur. It'll be okay.
I think that's why I was able to leave with you.
We'll get her out too.
Indira and Alabek take the next watch.
I love how our cats have just fallen asleep between our computer. Baz is on my lap and Laz is right behind the computer. They snooze.
There isn't really a morning. But when you open your eyes, you're surprised to find that the outside has changed.
Oh.
It is not the sort of like partially lit grey sky that you remember. The night stars stretch over you, indigo blue, and you can finally see the curve of the horizon line. And you see it lit in orbs of amber light.
The light of the Valar.
We'll take a quick break here. So you guys can get any food, have a loo break, and then we will enter. Yay! Whee!
Whoa. Spooky.
5.
Right, we'll see you like 12-ish? Or in like 8 minutes?
Boy.
Wrong button.
Yep. As I proceed to talk on mute.
I love technology. I love technology. Boy. I was just thinking my like rally thing how it
Yeah.
has like you add your charisma modifier to how much temporary HP someone gets. Bluey has 0 modifier. I think her charisma is 10. No, her charisma is 11. So she'd only need one more bump to it. But the next bump is level 19.
Yeah, ain't that just the way?
Yeah. Oh well. Too little HP. I do have no idea how superiority dice work. Is it just generally like you have a store of them, like the longer, and then you just use the thing?
There is actually there's a newer feature, like, or a feat that you can take,
Oh,
which might actually help you manage this. Let me, because I think it's fighting. I think it's either fighting initiate or
magic initiate?
no. Okay. No, it's martial adept, which is the one where you learn 2 maneuvers of your choice among those available to the battle master archetype, which didn't Bluey do? Gain 2 features, or was it just the one?
So I don't quite know where it comes from. Mentor's hand. I'm not sure if that's a homebrew thing, but it
I think
includes,
so. But
it
was
includes
it?
like sorry.
That was the question though. Was what? How many of the maneuvers did Bluey get?
Well, there's 3 things.
Okay.
There's the rally, which is
Okay.
temporary hit points. There's in the event where she rolls a natural 1, then on her next attack roll with the sword, she gets advantage as long as it's before the end of her next turn. And then the
Okay.
third thing was when you roll a natural 20, there's an additional 1d8.
Okay, so
damage.
it is a little different because you get just the one maneuver, so to speak, like, which would be the rally, plus the other 2 additional things. But on here it explains that you gain 1 superiority die, which I assume that's kind of what Bluey's got.
Mm,
Which is a D6 on here. Which fuels the maneuvers or what you use to expend. But yeah.
okay. I'm guessing superiority dice in general are kind of like spell slots, but for maneuvers.
It's essentially your spell slots for your maneuvers. Only battle masters get them, which I have thoughts about the champion subclass, but that's just mostly that, like, the champion subclass should be just the baseline fighter. Like, that's
Yes. 100% agree. That's the reason I've let you have Battle Master stuff, because I know that the champion was the only option you had, and Battle Master.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Just checking. Bluey in effect has 1 superiority dice, right? If you're speaking, you're muted. Or maybe you're not there.
Hello.
I'm not trying to ask for more superiority dice. I just like to check.
You just want to know how your stuff go.
Like with every other ability, like it's one nice little magic thing until the next short or long rest. I think in general, which is cool. Variety of things, unless it's a cantrip, and then she can go to town with spare the dying.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
I mean, you can always go to town with spare the dying. Hopefully nobody's dying, but you could. You could.
spare them. Right, so let's continue. You guys wake up after a lovely long rest. And uh-huh. You wake up after a long rest.
There's a little.
Alabek's team have not murdered you in the night, and you see on the horizon line a night sky that has been sort of like, that at the base of it you see these amber kind of like firelights almost. So Marsh's team's fire has gone out, and you see them emerging from their ice cave, standing under the stars and beginning to move towards Yin. What do you do?
Let's go, boys.
As you leave, Alabek's team follow you out, and Alabek makes a distinct effort to sort of like move sort of separately, distinguishing the fact that you are still two teams. Yes.
Before we leave the camp, can I just establish that I, like, when I woke up, I cast a bunch of my rituals before we left.
Yeah, which ones are you thinking?
So I want to cast water breathing and water walk on all of us again. The telepathic bond. I'll also cast comprehend language. I'll just cast like a bunch. Like I'll have woken up a little bit earlier, and just sort of sat and just cast a bunch of them. I can send you a list of them if you want. So it's
That's okay. It's okay. You can cast up to 6 if you woke up about an hour earlier.
that's fine. I will have cast 6.
So
In that case, I will also cast detect. I think I've got detect locate animals or plants. So I'll have that kind of going as we approach Yeem.
okay. You detect no plant life. Baron.
I took a screenshot.
Oh yeah. Baz and Maz are watching us figuring out plans. So you guys begin to move, your group separating out into 3 again. Lucas is alongside you, all stare. And you guys make your way across the ice. So walk to Yin is not very far. It only takes you about 10 minutes to cross the ice. However, it is a 10 minutes in which you feel the truest cold of the Maasai biting through you. And I need all of you to make me Constitution saving throws, please. All stare, you can make it with advantage.
Cool. Thank you, because one of them was a natural one. The other one is an 18.
Sorry, the rat. Sorry, the Okay. Anyone who rolled below 14.
A what?
14.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
Get your big booty over here, Basil.
You're going to take 7 points of cold damage. and you are starting to lose feeling in your fingers. And you keep walking, and I think by this point you would have realised it's cold. Still, even though the sky is different, you need to take precautions, activate your cubes. So I won't make you move. I won't make you do another Constitution save. This is just to represent, the cold that's going to get you in those sort of like times where you have.
Yeah, if Slia notices that the group is cold, she'll activate at least one of the thermal cubes. Sarazer is in charge of the other one.
Yeah. I think Sarazer would have the other one. He would take himself to the edge of the group, so that he would catch anyone who wasn't. Yes.
Could Slia have asked Sarazer to leave it with Alabek's group?
I was also going to have I was going to potentially have Sarazer give it to them, but I didn't want to make that decision for the team. So I'm glad you thought of it.
Okay.
Sarazer would, if you asked that of him, he would shrug and just say, if that's what you want. And he'll go over and pass it to them. And they do seem fairly grateful. And they turn on their cube and begin walking, leaving a slight, damp, slick patch from the heat just kind of melting the top layer of ice as they go.
Take that, cold.
Ha!
Ha!
Ah.
Ha ha!
Oh.
Ah.
Uh-huh. And you approach this structure. When you see it from this close up, it is huge. This is a place which was built for a populace much larger than that of the Maasai. The wall is a sort of diamond shape at the top, which tapers down into a rectangle, and it is entirely made of, or at least it appears to be made of, some sort of white to blue hued stone. Or quartz, or something similar like that.
Ulstead taps it.
Cass, you would know immediately that this is a sort of quartz. At the base of these walls, you see snow drifts have piled up 15 feet high in places, completely obscuring the architecture at the base of this building. It stretches about 80 feet across, just in this first instance, and the building, which has been collapsed and sort of disappeared under ice, snow, landscape changes, in general, appears to sort of indicate a much larger size, which has been lost since the Lachey were removed from this place.
I need a tissue.
There are no windows, not on this front. Not on this front expanse. However, there are these sort of strange, almost aesthetic, dips in the stonework, as if to resemble a window. And in the middle of those dips, you can see that there is a pane that's almost completely been bleached. Yeah. Yeah, because I put them in the bedroom. Yeah, hang on. I'll talk to you in a second. So, do you want me to, should I pause while you're upstairs? Okay. We will just pause for one moment.
All good.
No, all the doors stuff was open.
Yeah, but I'll tell you in a second. I'll explain.
But it doesn't matter, you left it open.
Hang on.
So how are you guys?
Bit of a migraine today, which is a bit unpleasant, but
Hope you're feeling okay soon. Migraines are not
Yes.
fun.
No. How are you guys?
Doing good. I had some food before, and now I'm lighting a scented candle to make it smell less like food in here.
Pizza?
Yep.
Classic.
The only thing I can get in short notice during the indie.
I had some fried rice earlier.
Nice. That sounds tasty.
Very nice.
The old reliable.
Oh yeah. And quick to microwave so that I'll make sure that it's done on break.
Yeah, it's good.
Just rolled all my dice. Oh, one
Yeah.
of them got above a 10. Oh no, that was a 13. It looked like a 7.
We're coming up on the one that betrayed me earlier. Beautiful little oil slick dice.
Ooh. Okay.
Pretty.
Nice.
I need to pick out a new set of. Have y'all seen the new dice tray?
I don't know if we have.
No.
The new dice tray.
Very pleased with it. It takes up less space on my desk and houses all of my dice.
Let me see. Also, I put some shelves in the other day because everything was getting a bit cluttered in my room.
Ooh, I see with the edge of one. I think your camera's frozen a bit.
Oh yeah.
Frozen?
I think it froze for a bit, but I hear you again.
We back?
Not for me yet.
Y'all hear that thud?
I didn't hear the thud. What happened with the thud?
Oh good. Yeah, I dropped my phone.
Oh. Is your friend okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, cute shelves, George.
Yeah.
I like all the little plants and everything.
Also, I gave y'all many shots of the dice tray.
Oh, a messenger.
Let's have a look.
You know what? Am I back for you guys?
Yep.
Yes, but
Good, good. I'll just take a picture of the shelf.
Holy
It'll
shit.
probably be easier.
Kaylin, this is so cool.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Ooh.
You could tell like that one picture or like the first two pictures are from when we first got the tray, and the picture that the latest picture is
this is
yes,
cool.
this is the tray this is it now after it's had like it's been exposed to all the cat hair.
Ah, right, okay.
It's pretty. And those are my new shelves that I finally got up.
Very cool.
Oh, and I love that like hanging like the one at the hanging plant in the corner. That's so nice.
I've got two of them. I'll show you. Hang on. So this one in this corner was the original, and then that one is its baby. They frame it like curtains.
Yeah.
Laz, are you playing the game with us?
Ooh.
Oh, hello.
We get some high resolution ears right now. So fuzzy.
I kind of wonder if he didn't turn the camera on himself.
Oh my god, wait, really? You
I
might be
think
right.
maybe he might have.
Smart boy!
Laz, do you want to be on the stream?
Forget about,
Oh my
like,
goodness.
AI taking over the world. We got cats. Competition.
Just taking a moment now to just get all the cat hair out of this tray. Gosh, my baby's shed. Honestly, not that much, but enough.
Ooh.
For the listeners at home, I was just being called out about my habits of clearing earwax from my earphones, and and especially
That's totally
especially in
fine.
high school.
Mm.
And I apparently passed on this habit to Anna.
Wait, what's the
And
habit?
also-
Cleaning your earphones? That sounds like a good habit.
Using a pacer, so like a thin lead
Oh, okay.
mechanical pencil, and just like, I mean, a bit of lead will rub off,
Mm.
but generally you can then take a little tissue. But
Mm.
like, just like going along.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works, yeah.
Whilst we're not on stream, I'll charge my earphones again because I'd let them die for a very long time, so the charging on them is long and slow.
I have a feeling that Laz turned the camera on again. Because it was
Yeah.
off, it turned on, I just saw Laz leaving the camera frame.
Oh, that might have been why, like, Lily's Discord left the call too. They might be like walking around on the laptops.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, lads, you naughty, naughty boy.
Hopefully there aren't any like session notes that are accidentally deleted.
It should be fine for like 30 days or something if it's like Google Docs or something.
True. More than likely it'll just be like letters pasted.
Yeah, spaces, symbols.
And then Sarah says to colon. I remember writing this. That's my notes.
Oh, I had a
You know,
reason
just
to write that. I must have been a reason. What does that mean?
So what actually happened? What's going on?
Well, Lily went to find a tissue. I don't know what else is happening.
Okay.
I mean, we're approaching Yeen. We're warm and
And also there's some like a roof mechanic coming or something for them? Some roof repairs for their leak? So I don't know when that's happening. I think it's happening in...
hey, that's happening in an hour or half an hour at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe they arrived early.
That's a possibility, yeah. Frustrating possibility, but is possibility. Also, I think, is today session 150?
151.
151. So next time will be 152, which I will go ahead and mark in my notes. And we actually did end up going according to the order still. Next on notes will be George.
All right.
Oh yeah, was it Lily the time before?
Yeah, it was Lily
Yeah.
last time, and then
I
Emma
see.
this
And guess-
time, and then George next time.
Oh yeah, that just worked out wonderfully in that case.
Somehow that's all of our notes really from this session. We have another pet.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. If you can still hear us.
I think Baz and Laz were walking all over the laptops slash technology things.
Because your camera
The
seems
cameras turned on and off.
So delete that.
Okay, Lily's food's just arrived, so we're just putting out
All
Okay.
good, all good.
eatings, etc. I should have ordered sushi. Okay, so and I'll send my mic off.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm eating.
Hello, eating. I'm Thomas.
Hi, Dad.
I had sushi today.
Sushi's real good.
Might be getting some for dinner.
So, you guys make your way across the ice and you find yourselves at the foot of this structure that you know to be key. On either side of you, there are Nasha's team and Alabek's team, and they both stop and look up at the door, and they don't seem to really know what they're looking at, not like how you guys do. You get the impression that they know the ghost story. Nasha especially looks surprised and confused. You know what? The door is there. Yes.
Can I Arcana check the lights? That amber glow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a 17.
With a 17, you can tell that there is a sort of illusion magic here. But because of that, you can't really tell whether what the glows are, whether it's like fire or whether it's like sunlight or starlight. They're hard to say, or if they're real or not. You get the impression it's an illusion.
Mhm.
Just in general. The same way that this whole place has been kind of warped and manipulated.
It's a bit funky.
Inside check Nasha's team.
Yeah.
Mhm. 18.
18. So, inside checking Nasha's team, you kind of get what you had before, which is she's confused. You also get the impression that she doesn't know what she's looking at. Alabek has divination. You guys have an actual Lachey in your party. But Nasha's team are somewhat disconnected from this. She doesn't know what really to do. So she starts walking towards the door, unless anybody stops her.
Can I perception check the door?
Yeah.
Can I investigate the door?
Yeah.
29.
29. Yeah, and investigation?
26.
26. Investigation shows that it isn't trapped in any way. It does seem to be open or able to be opened. And with a perception check, you can kind of see that this door should lead into some sort of atrium or entryway, which is obscured completely from view. What I was describing from before was there are no windows on this front. There's only sort of carved-in facades meant to mimic windows, with like those sort of flat planes within them. From a distance, almost think that there was some sort of way to look out or look in, but there's just not. The Messiah weather doesn't lend to that. And this also appears to be one of those, if not the only.
Oh, so start walking towards the door.
Okay. Do you want to try and get there before Nasha, or are you trying to match her pace?
Match her.
Okay. So Allstate also starts moving. Selena?
Okay. Just for the heck of it, I'd like to expend a first level spell slot and cast Detect Magic. So I'll see an outline around anything magical, and like if the terrain isn't like really there. Like since we got like
Magic.
illusory vibes, just kind of like let's make sure we're not walking directly into a trap.
Everyone around you lights up, fully magical. When you look ahead of you, you're confused for a second because whilst the skies, you felt that kind of like illusory arcana. Directly in front of you, this yin is a real structure. You're in a real place, which should suggest that you are somewhere which is in between the Messiah and this place where the trial has been taken.
Okay.
Same place again in the center.
I'll keep it going for the next 10 minutes, just to let you know.
Okay. All right. Seeing you move forward, Lucas follows you quickly, followed by Alabek, and you're all about to make it around the same time. Do you want to take the lead, Allstar, or do you want to let someone else open the door?
I think I'd rather do it with Lucas.
Okay. You put your hands on the center of the door. It divides down the middle, splitting in two. Alabek and Nasha hesitate and then put their hands on either end of it. And you start to push. And the door just gives way fairly easily, easier than you'd expect. The mechanism to open this is very small. And when it gets to almost as far as it can open, it slows down and kind of gently comes to a stop. And inside you see a vast entryway of vaulted walls and polished floors. And almost all of it has been lost to nature. These archways and ceiling beams are kind of carved in half, and frost and snow has rotted them back. Ice has like cracked and like speared up through the floor, leaving a sort of like deep gouge down the center of this walkway. Any fine work, you can see the remains of intricate carvings in the architecture, gone, brazed away by the wind and shaved off almost. And that's just what you get from the entryway. And the four of you stand there, and you hear Nasha say, "This place isn't real."
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll see this like kind of glow of magic around Slea's eyes. Oh, it's definitely real. There's something illusory going on. We're between planes, but it's real.
Alabek says, "It's real enough for me," and then keeps moving forwards. Lucas says, "I feel like I should say something cool or meaningful, but I've is quite sharp.
I think you're cool, Lucas.
Thank you. People said that. Feeling good. He moves his way in. You guys can follow. You make your way through, and it's much more of the same. There are icicles just gathering from the ceiling. And you see that they've kind of almost mutated into stone at some places. Any sort of furniture here has fossilized and been pressurized into crystals or gems. And there are some things which stand the test of time. You see bones, kind of the half-eaten bodies of something twisted, just sort of like pushed against the walls every now and again. You see pieces of leather, skin, which have shriveled.
Can I nature check these remains?
Yep.
Can I do a history check on the stonework and use stone cunning?
Yeah.
A natural 20, so 30.
26. Nature check.
26. So, with nature check 26, you can tell that these are similar in makeup and design to the creatures that the other the other shoe-like creature was talking about. And for cast your stone cunning, there are remnants of this sort of like quartz-like structure hidden beneath the ice. There's you can tell that this was very finely carved. You can almost feel like where these sort of like beautiful designs on these walls would have been, but they're just a memory now, sort of carved it, like lost from the snow. Is there anything else that you can gain with stone cunning?
So whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you're considered proficient. So basically, like, I'm finding the origin, and I would also say that I'm sort of looking to see if I can trace with the tokens that they've all got. Can I sort of gain any like insight as to where those might fit in or anything like that?
You haven't found anywhere yet. I think you'll be probably one of the people who can see it best when you do come across it. If you come across it.
All right, Cass will be keeping an eye out then for that.
So there is, from here on, not much left of this structure. There are collapsed passages which you could dig down through and explore. There are stairwells which lead up to the sky and then fall off. Turrets and towers now lost. And there are general ruins which are completely open to the elements, which I'm sure you could gain some sort of archaeological knowledge from. But there is one place which seems to be somewhat intact, and it is a sort of partially open door which leads you into what can only be described as a ballroom. In here, Sleer, your detect magic just lights up with illusion. The ballroom is decadent, Moorish, and filled with flora, fauna foreign to this plane. You see people who are taller than you'd expect, reaching 6.5 to 7 foot, wearing fine gowns of spun starlight, and other fabrics which don't resemble wool, don't quite resemble cotton either, but some sort of other kind of weaving method. And when you kind of look closer, you just can't figure out what this material is or where it's come from. It's foreign from the plane like this. And Sleer, this magic is kind of giving a life to this place. It just isn't there. And you can tell it's not there, and you can tell that this is all illusory, because the moment you realise none of these people are moving, the light begins to dim, and the facade falls away, and you realise that the room is not filled with people, but is filled with the frozen, statue-like remains of Lachey, who've been petrified in place. Where they once were, where they are now, is where they will always be. And they aren't dancing, they aren't alive with movement or merriment at all. They are all turned towards one thing which stands out as quite unlike anything you've seen before in this room. It is an archway which does not stand upright, but is instead laid across the floor. There is a dip in it, almost like a basin, empty, which is sort of carved in the middle of this arch. Cass, it is made from solid quartz, and on it there are runes which seem to resemble the broken kind of puzzle pieces which you've noticed on the remains, on the relics that your party members carry and the rest of the candidates carry. But you cannot read them. They are not. 10 minutes has passed by this point, and you don't have a strong enough understanding of Druidic or Sylvan to fully translate them.
Comprehend languages last an hour.
An hour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's hard for you to understand, but you get glimpses of what language this could be. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
When you think you got lucky, but reading it was cursed all along.
Oh, that's probably not going to do it. That's a 13.
13. You just can't. You read these languages, and your brain just bends around them, and you're paralyzed with face.
Can any of us read them?
Who wants to try?
I'll try.
Excuse me?
Sleer?
Leah doesn't necessarily want to read them, but you said that the 10 minutes has passed, so the detect magic is gone.
Just about to leave, yeah.
Okay, would we see that, would she see the outline of, magic around Cass after Cass
Just
has
as it
tried to
flickers
read
away.
this?
Yeah.
Is Cass literally frozen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Paralyzed.
Can I give it a shot?
Yeah. So, who wants to give it a shot? Please roll for me.
Okay, we need to
course,
go.
please.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Time to hide the cats.
To hide. Was that a doorbell sound?
I think so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it was a wisdom save, right?
I think so.
Cool.
I wonder if this will.
It's annoying. Cass has +8 to that. But she rolled a 5, so.
By the way, Aylin, what is this? What is the Chiseta?
Chisenta's Tyranny. It's a new module put out by CZRPG. And it's super cool. I love the setting. It's like ancient Greece, ancient Egypt inspired, and I'm just like such a huge fucking nerd.
Okay.
And it's so one of Emma's other DMs, John, does a streaming, and is Emma and Lily are in that game. And I was invited to join in since they were.
Ooh, okay. Exciting.
A spot opened up.
See.
And I'm like, I have 4 possibilities, but I've narrowed it down to, I think, 2.
Okay.
It's like, on the one, like the 4 possibilities, just to give y'all the whole breakdown. Unless y'all, like, unless there's something else.
Hit us up.
I've got a centaur rogue.
Ooh, cool.
Who's a goofball, and I love them.
You.
And then I've got a tiefling noble warlock.
Love it.
And then a changeling bard.
Hey, sorry guys. One sec.
No worries.
Good.
And then I've got a dragonborn monk.
Hey, is this you?
And I love my dragonborn monk who was raised by humans.
Lily and this
Those are cool.
Oh. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, is that you at the door?
But I'm leaning towards
Okay. I'm just wrapping up
bard
the call, so I'll just quickly
or
close that off, and
warlock.
I'll be right there. Sorry. Okay. All right. Sure. No worries. Thanks. Okay. Bye. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
So we've got the roof has just turned up super early, so we're gonna have to log off. So I'm really sorry. But I will let you know about later. So goodbye. Sorry for the stress.
Goodbye. Have a good.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya.
And you'll have to log. Yeah.
Your other one.
Okay, I'll stop the recording here. So we'll be
Right,
back
I'll-
next time.
I'll put Cassis Frozen
Okay,
as my